Have you ever wondered how safe the toys your children play with really are? In the heart of our story is Aqua Dots, a vibrant and seemingly harmless toy that became the sensation of 2007. This innovative plaything captivated children across the globe, allowing their creativity to bloom in 3 dimensions. With small, colorful beads that magically adhered together when spritzed with water, youngsters could craft anything their imaginations could conjure. Aqua Dots were not just another toy. They were a canvas for creativity, a tool for budding artists, and a platform for children to express themselves. They were an overnight success, flying off the shelves as fast as they could be stocked. Their popularity seemed unstoppable, their appeal universal. Yet, beneath the shimmering surface of these playful beads, a darker reality lurked. As the old adage goes, not everything that glitters is gold. Behind the fun and creativity Aqua Dots offered lurked an unseen danger. Upon closer inspection, scientists made a shocking discovery about the seemingly harmless coating of these popular toys. The unique adhesive that allowed the beads to stick together when sprayed with water contained a hazardous chemical. When ingested, this chemical could metabolize into gamma-hydroxybutyrate, more commonly known as GHB. GHB is a powerful sedative, often associated with illicit use, and is in fact classified as a controlled substance in many countries around the world. The first incidents were as alarming as they were unexpected. Children, attracted by the vibrant colors and playful nature of Aqua Dots, began to ingest them. After all, to a child's innocent eyes, these round, colorful beads could easily be mistaken for candy, but the consequences were far from sweet. The ingested Aqua Dots began to metabolize into GHB inside the children's bodies, resulting in severe illnesses. Symptoms ranged from drowsiness and dizziness to seizures, comas, and in the most severe cases, even potential brain damage. Parents and caregivers were horrified as the news started to spread. Emergency rooms across the country began reporting similar incidents, all tracing back to one common denominator: Aqua Dots. The toy that had once been a source of joy and creativity was now being linked to a wave of child poisonings. In the blink of an eye, the narrative surrounding Aqua Dots changed drastically. The colorful beads that adorned children's playrooms around the world were now seen as potential hazards, threats lying in plain sight. The trust and excitement that once surrounded Aqua Dots were replaced with fear and uncertainty. Suddenly, a beloved toy was now a potential threat. The Aqua Dots crisis was a harsh reminder of the potential dangers lurking in everyday items and the importance of rigorous safety testing and regulations to protect our most vulnerable consumers, our children. With the danger now apparent, action was swift and far-reaching. As the word spread about the hazardous chemical lurking in the coating of Aqua Dots, the company had no choice but to respond immediately. A global recall was initiated. The scale of this operation was simply staggering. Millions of these once sought-after toys were now being pulled off the shelves, from the busiest city center stores to the smallest town shops. Imagine the logistics of such an operation. It was a Herculean task that required careful coordination and meticulous execution, but it was an unavoidable step. The safety of consumers, especially the children who were the primary users of these toys, was on the line. The impact on the company was immediate and devastating. Financial losses were significant. The cost of the recall, coupled with the loss of sales, ran into millions of dollars. But perhaps even more damaging was the blow to the brand's reputation. Aqua Dots, once a name associated with creativity and fun, was now linked to danger and fear. Trust, once lost, is not easily regained, and for a brand that catered to children, this was a critical blow. Yet the company's response to the crisis was commendable. Despite the financial losses and the hit to their reputation, they prioritized consumer safety. Their swift decision to recall the product globally demonstrated a commitment to their consumers that went beyond profit margins. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but a necessary one. The fallout from the Aqua Dots incident was immense. It shook the toy industry, sparking conversations about product safety and corporate responsibility. But even as the company grappled with the immediate consequences of the recall, the ripple effects were just beginning to be felt. The incident had set in motion a series of changes that would reshape the landscape of consumer safety regulations. The fallout was immense, but the story didn't end there. The Aqua Dots saga sparked a ripple effect that reached far beyond the toy aisle. It was a catalyst that spurred significant changes in consumer safety regulations globally. In the wake of this incident, regulatory bodies across the world took a hard look at their testing protocols for children's toys and realized that more stringent measures were needed. The Aqua Dots recall served as a stark reminder that dangers could lurk even in seemingly benign objects. This realization led to a comprehensive overhaul of safety standards. Countries started to implement stricter testing protocols for toys, focusing not just on their physical attributes, but also on the chemicals used in their manufacture. The idea was to ensure that children, the most vulnerable consumers, were protected from potential hazards. Regulatory bodies also ramped up their oversight. They began to conduct regular audits of toy manufacturers, checking for compliance with the newly established safety standards. The rules got stricter, and the penalties for non-compliance became steeper. The message was clear. Consumer safety was not to be taken lightly. But the changes didn't stop at regulatory bodies. The toy industry itself was forced to adapt. Manufacturers had to rethink their processes, investing more in quality control and safety testing. They had to be more transparent about their manufacturing practices and the materials used. The cost of compliance was high, but the cost of non-compliance, as the Aqua Dots incident had shown, could be even higher. In a sense, the Aqua Dots recall served as a wake-up call. It highlighted the need for vigilance, not just on the part of manufacturers and regulators, but also consumers. It underscored the importance of being aware of what we bring into our homes, especially when it comes to products for our children. The ripple effect of the Aqua Dots saga was far-reaching. It brought about changes that were long overdue, and in doing so, it made the world of toys a safer place for children. The Aqua Dots incident had forever changed the landscape of toy safety. While the recall had a profound impact on the industry, it also ushered in a new era of consumer awareness. The Aqua Dots saga was a startling reminder of the importance of safety in the products we bring into our homes. It was a wake-up call that resonated globally, prompting consumers to question the safety of the items they purchased, particularly for their children. The Aqua Dots recall served as a catalyst for more vigilant consumer behavior. Parents became more cautious, more discerning. They started to look beyond the bright colors and engaging designs of toys. The questions changed. It was no longer just about whether a toy would be fun or educational, but whether it was safe. The focus shifted from what a product could do to what it contained. This newfound consumer awareness didn't stop at the toy aisles. It permeated through every aspect of consumer goods. From food to furniture, clothing to cosmetics. People started to demand more information, more transparency. They wanted to know what they were bringing into their homes, what they were giving to their children, and they were willing to fight for that right. Companies, in turn, had to adapt. They had to be more open, more transparent about their products. They had to prove their commitment to safety, not just with words, but with actions. This led to more rigorous testing procedures, stricter quality control measures, and a greater emphasis on safe, non-toxic materials. In the end, the Aqua Dots recall was more than just a product failure. It was a turning point. It marked the beginning of a new era, where consumers are more aware, more informed, and more empowered. It highlighted the importance of parental vigilance and the role consumers play in ensuring product safety. The Aqua Dots recall served as a wake-up call for consumers around the world. It was a harsh lesson, but a necessary one. It reminded us that safety should never be an afterthought, and that we, as consumers, have the power to demand better. So what can we learn from the Aqua Dots recall? The story of Aqua Dots is one of stark reminders and powerful lessons. It underscores the stark importance of stringent product testing before any item hits the market. In an era of global supply chains and mass production, it's easy to lose sight of the fact that each product, each toy, carries with it a responsibility for the safety and well-being of its end user. The Aqua Dots recall shone a glaring spotlight on the need for rigorous regulatory oversight. It's not enough to have rules and regulations on paper. They need to be enforced diligently. Agencies worldwide must work tirelessly to ensure that every product, no matter how innocuous it seems, is safe for its intended audience. This incident also underscored the crucial role consumers play in the safety ecosystem. Vigilance on the part of consumers, their willingness to question and to investigate, can often be the first line of defense against potentially hazardous products. The Aqua Dots case serves as a stark reminder that every consumer has a part to play in maintaining safety standards. But perhaps the most significant lesson from the Aqua Dots recall is the lasting impact it had on toy safety and consumer protection. The incident ignited a wave of change, leading to stricter regulations and heightened awareness among consumers about product safety. It served as a wake-up call, pushing manufacturers, regulators, and consumers alike to prioritize safety over everything else. The Aqua Dots recall, while a dark chapter in toy history, ultimately led to a safer, more conscious consumer world. It reminded us that safety is not a mere checkbox to tick off, but a non-negotiable standard that must be met at all costs. While the Aqua Dots saga was a dark chapter in toy history, it serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of safety in the products we bring into our homes.